That's offensive.
Yeah,
Welcome to our review for A Quiet Place. Directed by John Krasinski. Starring John Krasinski and Emily Blunt. Actually, I believe Emily Blunt is... Oh, sorry. Sorry.
Shut the fuck up.
I believe Emily Blunt is the higher billed person in this case.
Really? Why? Well, yeah, okay, she's a bigger star.
She's left on... Her name is left on the poster.
Really?
Yeah, that's first. Also starring Millicent Simmons and Noah Jupe. Jupe? Hoope?
No,
I don't know how to pronounce that.
You pay?
My name is Scott Ellis.
NJ?
I'm joined here by Adam Franey.
We're back, baby. All four of us.
All of us.
I mean, rip.
The dynamic duo.
Dynamic duo,
Adam,
baby. Let's go.
Can you give it a little synopsis?
Yeah. Forgot to look it up, so I'm gonna wing it. John Krasinski. No. Okay, no star names. A family living in the world is...
You're fucking fired.
Needs to be quiet
You're fired.
because someone or something will get them if they're not.
You know what? I'll give you credit. Basically, it's in the future. Earth is overrun by aliens.
Is that a spoiler? You might want to edit.
So.
You might want to bleep that.
I don't think that is.
Is it not? Because
Are they overrun? There's something in the woods.
There we go. Yeah. just ignore that.
It's not a spoiler. Well,
I mean, like,
anyways.
you know right away when you see the movie, but they weren't showing what it was in the trailer.
Right.
I held not hope, but I held out mystery that it could have been people or could have been
right.
bear.
But it's sort of I think it's revealed fairly early on that it's
it
sort
doesn't
of,
ruin anything.
there's something in the woods, and if you make a noise, very quickly you will be dispatched.
That's fine.
And it's sort of this survival story of this family living out on a farm, and they've taken great pains to limit the amount of noise that they're making by putting sand down. They have, they're talking in sign language, and there's a variety of interesting ways that interesting techniques they use to combat this issue of not being able to speak. Adam, what do you think of A Quiet Place? Now, a lot of people comparing this as the Babadook of this year, as the Witch of this year,
The Witch,
the Vavitch,
the Vavitch,
the Get Out of this year,
the Get Out.
People comparing it to that one indie art house horror movie that is successful of the year.
Interesting. And the box office backs that up.
They did it on a $17 million budget. I think it made $50 million this weekend, something around that range, which is much higher than what they were predicting.
Johnny K. Pop bottles, baby.
The new Jordan Peele.
Fuck? Yeah, literally. Right?
What do you now? With all that being said, what are your thoughts on A Quiet Place?
Well, Scott, I loved it. I loved it.
You
loved it. I'm fucked. Yeah, I thought it was fantastic.
Were you predetermined to like this based on the runtime and the single setting?
I don't know what you're talking about. Just
single setting horror thriller, 90 minutes.
Not
right
my
up your
thing.
wheelhouse.
Father protecting children, also one of my favorite subgenres. Preferably grumpy older character begrudgingly protecting children, but right. I will accept charming father.
Like The Road or something?
Yes, love The Road, thank you. This also has shades of The Road. But
you love it.
It's just right, my sweet spot. Very Signs, I thought. I'm like the world's biggest Signs fan. It reminded me of that.
Yeah.
Just that farmhouse setting with the alien looming in
That's
the background.
a spoiler. You should say alien.
Right. Yeah. Fuck. I fucked that up again.
They might not be aliens. You know what? It's not that obvious.
Hey, we don't know. They're creatures. It's a
could have come out of
feature,
some cave somewhere.
Bro. I thought, just from the opening scene, was riveted. Just nail-biting suspense the entire way through. scary, I'd say. I was scared. I was creeped out.
Really?
Yeah, I've been sleeping at a house with just me and my girlfriend lately, and I'm not gonna lie, I might have been a little creeped out. I might have been a little worried. I might have like shoved my hand over her mouth when she tried to speak. Like, no!
You didn't put her in a box?
No, I thought about it, but
With an oxygen mask?
yeah, just this is for your safety.
Stop making noise.
I thought
Go
about
in the
it.
box.
John Krasinski, the new Jordan Peele. Who the fuck knew Jim from The Office could
Direct a horror movie? You kidding me?
Dare I say, masterfully directed? The suspense was ratcheted to the breaking point. I was literally, my heart was like, I felt like I had 10 Red Bulls. I was just like, heart was buzzing after this movie. Amazing performances. I thought the whole family was great. Shockingly great CG on the creatures. Like, $17 million budget.
$1 million went to everything else. 16 million went to those creatures.
Those close-ups when they do their like crazy like listening thing,
And they're like,
oh my
that part?
god,
Well,
man!
yeah.
Spoiler? I don't know. Is that are we going too far here?
It looked fantastic.
Looked great, great performance. The thing that really blew me away was the world building. There was I love this movie's so confident. There's not really exposition.
There's no voiceover narration.
There's definitely no voiceover at all, barely.
Which would be exceptionally cringe.
Right, for sure. I'm surprised the studio didn't force them to add that after. There's almost no dialogue.
89.
We have to be quiet.
It had the balls.
Yeah.
Krasinski had the balls to go quiet. Go to a quiet place
place,
with
man.
this.
Just like little touches, like painting the floorboards where they don't creak, and laying down the sand, like you were saying, and even the Monopoly, they have to throw it onto like threaded carpet. Just all these little touches that inform you of the world, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it thoroughly blew me away. I will say it. I loved it.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it as well. I don't know if I could say love,
Really?
but I think
Didn't necessarily love it.
it was so well directed.
Which is crazy. It's fucked.
I know, it's
Does that
bizarre.
not blow your mind?
The cast was great. Everyone was great. The kids were exceptionally good.
Yeah.
I thought, if anything, Krasinski might have been the weakest.
Performance-wise?
Yeah. But I would not to say that he gave a weak performance. It's just everyone else was so good.
Yeah.
Emily Blunt was fantastic.
Oh, actually,
That
excellent.
bathtub scene.
She has the most, I was saying this to my girlfriend, she has the most convincing cry, maybe, of any actress. Like, you feel her soul.
Viola Davis is a
Explo-
very convincing cry.
You know what? That's a good call. That's not, though. But she
Not
just,
cry, but she's fantastic.
you see her soul being torn out of her chest when she's crying, right?
Mm-hmm.
I thought Krasinski was good.
I thought he was good.
I don't
I
know
just
if
mean
Jim
everyone else
could
was
be
like shining
serious.
in my opinion.
Yeah, the
Like-
kids were awesome.
The Millicent Simmons, who plays their daughter, who's deaf,
Mm-hmm.
I thought she was fantastic. You guys might know her from Wonderstruck. Wonderstruck.
You might not.
No one saw that. Right.
Nice try.
And Noah Jupe is
Noah
great.
Jupe. I know a couple
You
Jupes.
know Jupe. He was good. He was actually surprisingly good
He was
for
awesome.
being a little kid.
Yeah. Is this his first movie?
I don't know. I have
I
a
don't
feeling
recognize
not.
him.
I think
Yeah.
the other child is. I think that was his debut,
Oh yeah, the youngest one.
the youngest, but not the baby, baby. But,
yeah, technically not the youngest, I guess. But
let me see here. I feel like he's done something.
Noah Jupe
Yeah,
or the
Jupe.
Jupester. Yeah.
Anyways, I thought, like, just to echo your sentiments, I thought the creature design was amazing,
Amazing.
and
Which is rare.
he was in Suburbicon and The Night Manager. How about that?
How about that?
What else? Yeah, just touching on the cast was fantastic, but the tension was great, for sure. You know, and I loved, again, this is coming down to the directing, how efficient and how Krasinski economized the film, and it didn't feel bloated.
No.
It was very concise.
Yeah.
Edited down. It was a very lean film.
It's a very good way to put it. I
And
never even thought of that.
yeah, it just didn't have any excess. You know, where like there's a sequence in the middle where it just shows them like farming or something. It just cuts to like 300 days later. You know what I mean?
Yeah, perfect. How
love
often
that.
are we saying we come on here and we're like, well, there was a big drag section.
Yeah, between the action.
Yeah.
Once it starts, it just gets into it and it doesn't really slow down. It sort of keeps going, ratchets up the tension, and it goes from one suspenseful scene to the next.
It was relentless.
Mm-hmm. And I really appreciate that trust that he had in the audience in just accepting this is what we're going for, and I don't have to over-explain it and get into specifics. I can just show this family trying to survive and show it very concisely, but done well. And I don't know, I just thought that was the high point for me, was the direction.
Yeah.
Which is pretty amazing
for
considering.
Sure. That's a good call, like the Get Out of this year. It's like a guy coming from a comedy TV background and just, I mean, it's not his first movie. He did a couple very small ones, but
This is his first film with like a bigger studio, which is it?
yeah, Paramount.
Paramount. Right on.
Which is why they considered the Cloverfield crossover,
Right.
which the writers came out and said they did.
What would you think of that? I mean, do you think they could have made? We think that would have been a stretch. Really?
No, I think they should have if they weren't gonna, like, if you just called it, you know, Cloverfield, A Quiet Place, or whatever, however they put Cloverfield in the title, then that would have been great. If they tried to, like, come in and put their fingerprints all over it and make it more Cloverfield-y, I wouldn't want them to touch it, but it would have helped. Like, it would have been a great movie. Would then be.
I'm wondering why they didn't. To be honest, what was it about it that turned them off the Cloverfield thing?
The writers listed that it was because Cloverfield Paradox had just come out.
The timing of it? It would have been too close.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess they made the right choice because Cloverfield Paradox was shit. So they needed something to elevate that film, so they put Cloverfield on there.
Yeah.
And did that stunt on the Super Bowl, and with this, they're like, well, it's a good film, so we can market it on its own, and it doesn't have to be connected.
There you go. Yeah, I never even thought of that.
Yeah, we don't have to drag it through the
So
Cloverfield
basically, Cloverfield is a stamp of shit.
Yeah.
Like, well,
The shit stamp.
How do we save this stinker?
Shit stain of Paramount.
Oof.
Yeesh.
Kudos to them though for having the balls to.
They could have easily integrated
this
it
movie.
somehow, in my opinion.
Yeah.
You know, considering, well,
Subtly.
We'll get into it. But shall we give our ratings, and we can talk in some spoilers, because I think there might be some more to delve into there. I'm going to start off. I'm going to say 4 out of 5.
A solid 4.
A solid 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, I quite enjoyed this.
Okay.
I have I have some minor gripes.
Oh.
Again, minor. It's a solid film. I enjoyed it quite a bit.
I'll go heavy 4. I'm going
Nice.
heavy.
I mean, you
Real
said
heavy.
love.
It's a heavy 4. I mean, to be honest, it flirts with the 5. It's flirting.
If it's a
It's talking to the 5
Fuck.
right now. The 5's on the phone. I don't know what it's going to say back, but
oh fuck,
I
It's
gotta.
there.
I don't know. I can't fully
It's a gut
5
instinct.
it. You know, you need that gut. I got very, very minor problems with it. I gotta go.
So, spoiler warning: if you haven't seen A Quiet Place, a lot of people seen it this weekend. Now,
Yeah, you might have seen it.
that being said, our local theater decided to put it in the smallest theater.
It was crammed.
Like idiots, why didn't you put it in a bigger theater so that it wasn't completely sold out? Because of course it was completely sold out. Anyways, a lot of people seen it this weekend.
Thanks, guys.
Check it out. If you don't want to be spoiled, fair warning. If you do want to be spoiled, continue on at your own peril. Warning over. Some minor gripes I had. You know, with these kinds of films, there's always going to be the minor logic leaps that you have to make.
Yeah, it is a horror movie. I mean, at some point.
So there's a few of those, you know?
Yeah.
A few of those things where you're like, well, you're not really playing by your own logic that you're creating.
I felt that a little bit as well.
It's hard to think of specifics, but certain things you're like, okay, you spoke too loud there.
Yeah.
Or like stuff like you're like, oh, okay, that the baby's crying, it definitely hears you.
What the fuck is happening? Yeah, it did break its own rules at moments.
But you kind of have to. At the same time, I understand you kind of leave it at the door. That
Yeah.
you got to take it for what it is. But there was a few times where I'm like, no, it should be killing you right now because you're like breathing way too loud.
How'd you feel with the waterfall? The screaming into the waterfall.
I thought it was super cringe. I'm like, no, why would you know? No, that doesn't make sense. But
I get what he was going for, but I just felt like there's no way a father is bringing his fucking kid after what he's seen to this waterfall and screaming at the top of his lungs.
yeah, it's more so a break of character. Like, why would he do that?
Are you... I get that he's trying to give his son a moment of happiness and
Freedom,
fun
yeah.
and escapism. But you're telling me a man who, 2 years ago, watched his youngest son...
A year.
A year ago, watched his youngest son get eviscerated.
Murked.
Which, can we talk about that?
Savage.
Teased in the trailer. I'm like, okay, here we go. Seen this scene in the trailer.
Yeah.
A
few extra frames.
Yeah, Krasinski's gonna fucking save him. This is bullshit. Come on, they don't got the balls to do.
I didn't think he was gonna save him from the trailer.
You thought he was gonna get wrecked?
Yes.
Really?
But I thought it was gonna be like snatched in a blur, which it kind of was, but it was a little bit more blunt force trauma.
You can kind of tell the kid got fucked
Yeah.
by that spider. I don't even
Mantis.
Yeah. It split my soul in half watching him get wrecked.
I expected that.
Did you really?
Yeah.
That blows my mind.
Because he wasn't in any other shots in the trailer.
So, to set it up, this is 10 minutes in? 15 minutes in?
5, maybe even
Less?
5.
So, after they raid this store, of course, the kid has this toy that the daughter stole for him after the parents forbid it because it's too loud. You all see in the trailer, oops, he plays it too loud. Krasinski sprinting all out, sees the monster coming for the kid. Literally, kid gets blown away by this monster, tackled, maybe eaten in one swipe. Ravaged.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I got misty-eyed. It was like shock, it was sadness.
No, I got pretty misty about that raccoon too. I mean, that was a fucking...
got eviscerated?
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought that was a little corny. It was a little like Krampus or something, like very horror B movie.
I thought like that was a moment of that was like one small moment of comedy for me.
Yeah. It just did. It was like beneath it. It felt like a fart joke or something.
I know. I know.
You know what I mean?
I was gonna say though about the waterfall scene.
Mm-hmm.
At first, I was like, "Oh, that's fucking dumb." But then they showed the one shot of the kid screaming, and you can't hear him, and it shows the sound of the waterfall.
That's
from
true.
the other angle, and I was like,
"Yeah,
okay, fine." And you sort of explain that it's really loud waterfall.
I get it. The science, it was like fine. Like I totally get it. I just don't know if the
character choice.
I don't know if Krasinski's character, I find it hard to believe that a guy who watched his son die is going to bring his other son and tempt fate. That's insane to me.
Yeah.
Right?
It's a bit much.
It's a bit much. Even the placement, like to do it in the middle of the movie, even if he like had done it at another point, I don't know.
Another minor nitpick is the nail in the stair. Like, okay, so you weren't thinking about this. So Emily Blunt, she's walking up the stairs with her laundry, and it gets stuck on a nail that's sticking up through. Gets pulled up somehow while she's walking up the stairs.
The nail gets like straightened.
Gets pulled out somehow.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, why would it be right on the spot where you would normally step?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like it gets pulled up.
Right.
Anyways.
Yes.
She trips and falls, and she has a moment of a tense moment where she thinks she's going to be killed or something, but she isn't. And she continues on, and the nail is still there. But for me, I was thinking, well, what did you trip on? Clearly, it got caught on something. Why wouldn't you try and fix that? But she left a nail sticking straight up. She didn't look back at all.
I was immediately like, she's not going to pull that nail out?
Right.
But then it's like the plot heavily relies on this special nail.
Yeah.
Right?
It was a contrivance for sure. I was like, yeah. So someone's going to step on it in the future. I'm like, okay, who's going to step on it?
Yeah. I do like, though, that about this movie, how they set things up and come back.
It gets paid off.
Even the waterfall, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because she hides the baby at the one point from the alien in the little mini waterfall.
That's true. Yeah.
So it is like a setup and a payoff. And I don't know, like the writers in Krasinski, I just thought it was pretty brilliant storytelling. The way he was just paying off these little nods throughout the story, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the hearing aid, just everything.
Cochlear implant, really.
Even that reminded me of Signs, but a less kind of clumsy way of like tying everything into it, right?
See, that to me, I really liked that aspect.
Yeah.
And I mean, if we're comparing it to Signs, the weakness of the aliens in Signs is like some dumb,
like water,
some reason. Logic break where they somehow don't like water, whereas Earth is what % water, like
all water.
It's like all water. So
80.
Maybe they should have looked up that first before they fucking came to Earth.
The perfect place.
But for some creatures how they attack humans is they only can hear, basically. It's through sound. And they use this echolocation technique of clicking, and it all sort of makes sense. And it also makes sense that their weakness would be some really high-pitched, loud frequency vibration thing.
Yeah.
That makes perfect sense. Not
great.
Like water or something dumb.
It's just like literally like War of the Worlds, like, and they got the flu.
Yeah.
Like, what? I like that it wasn't that feeling of like, what?
Yeah.
It was like, oh, yes, of course. Like, they have this sonic hearing, right?
Now, while we're on that topic, there's sort of an elephant in the room, and that's the very ending. I think we should touch on it. A lot of people not liking the ending. Did you know that?
No, 97%. I didn't know there was...
Well, a small minority of loud people, I guess, have brought up the ending as being a minor.
Loud people?
No, it was not intended.
Okay.
But some people have brought up the ending
got?
as being sort of out of place.
Like the final shot? That is amazing you say that, because that's what's stopping me from giving it a 5.
Really?
Yes. I thought
do tell. If you're coming from that perspective, do tell. So if you want to run it down for the viewers, what happens?
So, I do like I was saying, the hearing aid tie-in, and I do like how, even in death, Krasinski saves his family, like post-death. Mm-hmm. In the afterlife, so to speak, they find all of his hearing aids he's working on with all these like amplifiers, and so the daughter figures out that she can mess them up, and is like, okay, let's crank this to 11, no pun intended, and we'll bring them all in, and Emily Blunt will, I guess, become Wonder Woman and just go full Rambo and just obliterate all these creatures.
They're gonna run in there. She's gonna turn it to 11, and they're gonna heads are gonna explode. She's gonna blast them away.
Just like the opposite of what this movie is.
Yeah, tonally.
Complete tonal shift.
Yeah.
Like, it was like the final 2 minutes were a different, like, director, different movie.
The final 30 seconds, the final minute, I might say.
And everything about the way it was handled, like Emily Blunt looking in the camera and like winking, like ping. I feel like there was like a ting, a quiet place.
Yeah,
it was just so
like credits.
Yeah, it was so not what this movie was so above that. It felt like a grindhouse, like crank it, honey. I was like. And I literally, you know what I thought? I thought there was gonna be some like Kingsman like,
montage
5-minute like
of them fucking them up,
like literally Freebird blasts, and she's like just like taking off heads.
She turns into a hit girl.
Yes, I was like, no, please God, this movie is not that. But then they just did the like pull out the rug from under you, cut to black. Yeah, that really.
So you didn't like it?
Somehow,
Heavy 4.
Movie shit. Heavy 4. No, somehow that last 30 seconds was just so gross to me.
Yeah,
you know, that's why it's not a 5.
That's
like
fair.
Get Out. There
That's
was
fair.
some grossness in the last couple minutes of that movie that stopped it from being a 5. How do you
For
feel?
me,
now that I've.
For me, I was
exploded.
like, I went into it with the expectation that something weird was going to happen at the end that was totally different.
What?
Because I heard about it before I saw the movie.
Did you? I see.
Yeah.
Okay. I went in pretty clean. I didn't know.
And I was like, why'd you tell me that kind of thing? I wish I didn't know that.
Yeah.
But I sort of expected it, but I didn't hate it. It was weird, but at the same time I didn't hate it. Like, because how else would you end a movie if you think about it?
That's the thing,
like,
with these like movies that are like kind of like zombie, you know.
Like, do you end it with them, you know, after Krasinski sacrifices himself, which, by the way, is a great moment.
We talked about that. My soul was again crushed with the kid dying and Krasinski dying. I think Krasinski even more
sacrificing himself by yelling.
The guttural scream.
I wonder how many takes that took.
Oh, it was a scream.
Maybe one. I don't know.
I'm like, did they like tell him that Emily Blunt was actually
just
gonna
died?
die?
Yeah.
Like, it was
soul.
That's why I thought his performance
crushing.
was good. Like, it was just such a good soul scream, you know. It was good, and it made sense. And like him telling his daughter he's always loved her, like signing it and then screaming. I just thought it was so like, well,
that was fantastic, and seeing their kid's reaction to it was
stop! Oh my God,
heart-wrenching.
God.
But you know, where would you go from there? You know, if they didn't come to some conclusion of how to stop them, it would just be this relentlessly bleak film, right? Like, you needed something.
Yeah, that's the problem. I thought it was so good up until that point, and I was actually nervous. I'm like, how the fuck do you end this?
Unless you go
what do you do?
Full auteur, like, you know, what's that movie that came out last year? Very similar.
It Comes at Night?
It Comes at Night.
Yeah.
Similar.
Not a fan of that ending.
How it's just
like that movie.
100% ambiguity, no resolution. It could have gone that way, right? But
yeah.
I thought
It's still ambiguous.
it is, but not that ambiguous.
Like, are we meant to believe that she destroyed them
Yeah.
all?
Yeah.
You don't think
'Cause there's
that
two of them.
they could have got wrecked?
There's only two of them.
Is that it? For sure?
Well, you saw that's.
I thought
Again,
maybe they were like coming out of the woodwork.
No.
Because there was a thing that said 3 in area.
Exactly. So that was set up. See, that was something
that.
subtly set up. That there's 3 known creatures in the area.
Good world building.
Exactly.
I'm just like, hang on, we counted 3 of them today.
Yeah, and so it was set up that there was the one that was sort of hunting them the whole time.
Terrifying. Jesus Christ.
But somehow when they killed the first one, it must have alerted them somehow, or the noise of the shotgun or something caused them.
That'll do it.
But also Krasinski screamed right before that, so anyways, it something alerted these other creatures, but it was set up that there was 3. And then you only see 2 coming out of the forest.
I totally forgot about that.
Yeah.
That's so true.
I noticed that right away. I was like, oh, that's the other 2. Right.
She definitely could have taken 2. Are you kidding me?
That's what I mean. So
yeah. So you're right, yeah.
But as far as the ending, tonally it was weird, but I thought it needed some levity so that it didn't have to be so bleak.
Yeah.
It could have been done a little bit better, maybe not with so, like, you know, wink wink.
Yeah.
But
just bizarre camp.
But I thought
out of nowhere.
Yeah, I think it was just a little bit too overt.
It just didn't fit the movie.
Yeah.
If this was like an action movie, great ending, right? But it just felt so Kingsman to me. Like, I was just like, what? Like, there was no preamble of the, like, nothing at any point during the movie before this. Was there any, like, wink,
Just the
wink?
raccoon.
Yeah, other than the raccoon. It's just a weird raccoon callback.
It was a bit odd, but I mean,
Holy shit,
besides
I didn't know.
that, I mean, again, it may sound like we talked more about our dislikes.
It's only because everything was done so well. I almost can't put a finger on, well, what was so great. The fireworks scene was incredible, I thought.
Yeah, when the fireworks lit off, I was like,
Holy
"Oh
shit.
fuck!"
And
Shit's getting real.
the corn tower scene was great.
Right? Terrifying.
Not since the bear in Annihilation have I been so scared in a theater.
I'm never eating corn again.
Never again. It was terrifying. That metal door, though,
Clutch.
super clutch. Like,
It's a raft.
I'm
in the
definitely
sea
hyped
of
to see
corn.
what Krasinski does next. Like, is he gonna go full blockbuster?
I don't know.
Jurassic World 4?
Is Blumhouse gonna try and get him or something, or like?
I thought this was Blumhouse before.
Could have been, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Is he gonna? I mean, I want to see him. Like, I just kept thinking of Jurassic Park, like the kids running from like monsters. I'd like to see him do that and hopefully make it good. But
Maybe he'll actually direct Jurassic World 3.
get
Instead
Trevorrow
of
out of there
Trevorrow, yeah.
again.
Yeah.
Fire him again.
Fire him again.
Get him out of Hollywood
He
forever. Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to really think about what he might do next. But I think he's going to field some offers after this.
He's gonna be Jordan Peele. They're gonna be beating the door down.
Yeah.
He's gonna be like the new.
Like, shit,
Man.
you directed the shit out of this. What do you want to do next, dude?
Elevated it. Like, this movie could have been shit.
Easily, very
could
easily.
have been shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I think that'll do it for our review of A Quiet Place. Adam, where can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Franny25 and on Instagram and Letterboxd at UprealAdam.
You can find us as well at Up Real Late on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, older episodes on iTunes as well. You can follow myself, Scott, on Letterboxd at UprealScott. And if you enjoy this video, leave a like on it. Leave a comment below if you want to join our discussion about A Quiet Place. And, of course, subscribe if you haven't already. And as always, keep it real.